August 30th, 1864. My dearest Annabelle, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. General Sherman orders we shall finally capture Atlanta from those Johnny rebels, with intentions of burning much of the city. I have no lack of confidence in the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I know how strongly American civilization now leans on the triumph of the government, and how great a debt we owe to show who went before us through the blood and the sufferings of the Revolution. The rebels must be stopped, and I am willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life to help maintain this government and pay that debt. Though she is considered our enemy, give my love to my sister Susanna in Mississippi, and, of course, all of our friends. My love and 1,000 kisses to my own sweet Annabelle and our little boys. Ah, how my heart yearns for thou, that art so near and dear to me, as your ever devoted and loving husband, Peter C. Vickery.
November 12th, 1864. My dear Peter, I received your letter some weeks ago and was glad to hear from you. Seated myself today to write to you, I send word to your sister in Mississippi as well. By the time you read this, you will probably already be informed of the re-election of President Lincoln, as he now will serve a second term as our president. The ladies of the church, as well as I, are optimistic of his decisions regarding the Union. And our little Stuart is recovering from the measles, but Mother has been taking fine care of him as I spend frequent time volunteering at the nearby hospital for the war cause. I have sewn little under 30 coats and trousers and sent them away to our troops. I worked as desperately as I could to get some of this weight off of my heart. I dearly pray you will receive one of them, as I embroidered my love in the form of a heart in the left pocket of each. Be safe, my love. With deep and tender affection, Annabelle J. Vickery.
December 18th, 1864. My dearest Annabelle, it has been a long time since I have had an opportunity of writing to you, and I gladly avail myself at the present opportunity. Since I was drafted to fight for the Union on September 5th, I have now experienced both gruesome and haunting occurrences both on and off the battlefield. On the morning of the 16th, we arrived into Atlanta and found a part of the town burning, and the fire was raining like hurricane. We began to tear up railroads until about 2. Some of the boys came up to us and reported Wilcox had been wounded, and several of the other men, including Major Edwards. Later, I was instructed to attack Hood's troops on Overton's Hill. Dear Annabelle, as I stood with bayonet in hand, freezing and terrified, I saw my life flash before my eyes innumerable times. And yet my love of this country came over me like a strong wind and bared me irresistibly on with all these chains to the battlefield. Our troops charged up Overton's Hill and took it. Those rebels fled as an undomesticated stampede, Major General Thomas reported to us.
Hood's army has become a disheartened and disorganized rabble of half-armed and barefooted men who seek every opportunity to fall out by the wayside and desert their cause to put an end to their suffering.
This claim gives me reason to believe the Union may soon see the surrender of the Confederate troops. I'm glad Stuart has recovered from his illness. My best fellow Lewis was shot and killed 3 days ago at the Battle of Nashville. I'm still mourning his loss. Not a day passes I wish I couldn't return to your loving care. I shall continue writing when opportunities to do so transpire. With all my love, Peter C. Vickery.
December 23rd, 1864. To my sister-in-law, Annabelle, one and all, I wish you and yours a Merry Christmas. I find the best way for me is to take things as they come and wish for the best. I read today in the Daily Citizen newspaper, the city of Savannah has been seized by your side. Cotton merchant Charles Green has offered his mansion as headquarters for your general, Sherman. Oh, while my mind prescribes I support the Confederate side of this war in which I live, my heart goes out to Peter, my dear brother, when I long for his safety, that this war does not devastate our relationship, and he may return home to you in the near future. Now I have enclosed $3.50. Please use it to treat your family this Christmas. Tell the boys their aunt sends her love. Your sister-in-law, Susanna L. Vickery.
January 31st, 1865. My dearest sister-in-law, Susanna, on behalf of our little family, I would like to thank you for your wonderful Christmas wishes. They bring renewed hope during such a dark hour as this. Christmas just wasn't the same without my beloved Peter here. Thank heavens he's safe at least. His last letter excitedly mentions the capture of Savannah, Georgia, a huge advancement for Sherman's troops. He talks of the Union making headway, but sometimes I selfishly do not even care who wins anymore. I just want Peter to come home. No matter, we women must put aside our fears and continue to bravely fight the battle here at home as best we can. I would send money, but being penniless, I fear the only thing I can send is my love. May God bless you and your family during this difficult time. Best wishes, Annabelle J. Vickery.
April 15th, 1865. Dear lovely Annabelle, I sincerely apologize for not returning your letter sooner. Winter has brought with it plenty to do, as I'm sure you are well aware. Shocking news has reached my neck of the woods. President Lincoln was assassinated just yesterday. I heard the news and I surely fainted right in Mrs. Cherry's front parlor. I'm sure you have been mourning his passing constantly. Although he was not my president, I must admit he was a good man. I send my deepest love, warmest hugs, and best wishes to you and your sweet family. Love, your sister-in-law, Susanna L. Vickery.
May 4th, 1865. My beloved Mrs. Vickery, the events of the past week have been of such importance to the nation, and to this family in particular, that I am of the opinion that they deserve much more special mention than is contained in the concise daily kept by David. Today comes the announcement that Lee, with his army, had surrendered to General Grant as prisoners of war, thus closing the long and bloody conflict of the past 4 years. Oh, the joy was universal, and it seemed as if nothing more was needed to make the nation's happiness complete. It is not surprising that our hearts should be filled with thankfulness and joy, so that at times we could scarcely realize our own happiness to be more than a dream. At 2 o'clock on the afternoon of the 15th, we hear the news of the assassination of President Lincoln the night before, and of his death the next morning, followed by the swearing into office of President Andrew Johnson. This news depresses us more than would a defeat to Lee, and the greatest anxiety is felt as to whether it will have a sinister effect on the late grounded prospects of a speedy peace. In my opinion, it will not, for I think Johnson's policy will be almost identical with that of our late president, the misfortune of whose death cannot give the rebels more men or military material, the one of which defeated them, nor will it at all discourage our soldiers in the prosecution of the efforts to crush totally the last wiggling of the reptile rebellion. I have recounted a week in which will be remembered with mingled feelings of pleasure and regretful sorrow by the whole American nation in general, and by this position of it, the Vickery family in particular. For I will be home at once with my beloved Annabelle, Soon to be is sorrow forgotten, and in its place, happiness. Grant Godspeed and rejoice in the preservation of the victorious Union, with the excitement to arrive home at last. Your beloved Peter C. Vickery.